Good morning. I'm Inga Cotton, and I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms. And I'm online this morning for another Charter Moms chat. So today is Monday, April 6th. I had to check. So today feels like a weekday because we made it feel like a weekend. We did some things that are especially reserved for weekends. So we go for a longer walk on the Greenway trails instead of just walking in our neighborhood. And what I guess the kids don't really do homework on the weekends, but we do. Now we have a ritual on Sunday. We go through and check everything in their packet that came home from school the week before. And then on Sunday morning, the newsletter comes out from school, and we log in and we download the new packet and kind of put everything in its place in the binder. So that's kind of becoming our Sunday ritual, so that the kids can get started on school on Monday morning. So they did schoolwork from 8 to 9 while I drove by their schools and dropped off the packets with last week's work. And they have a place where you can pick up the new packets, but we just choose to print at home. That works for us. But I'm glad they have the packets available for pickup for folks who maybe don't have a printer at home or just need help with that. And you don't really have to touch anything. You just gotta do your thing. So yeah, we're on like week 3 of packets. So it's starting to feel normal. My kids do have some Zoom office hours, and then there's like some Zoom classroom time this afternoon that I don't know how my son feels about it. I think my daughter, she'll enjoy getting to see her friends. For my son, it's more like kind of if he has questions, it's a time when he has access to his teachers, and then there's some time when he can talk to the special ed team. There's a liaison assigned for him, and I think his tutors or family members, I think them and me, we're going to check in with the special ed folks and just get advice. But I would say overall he's been on track, and you know, I'm thankful for the motivation that he has to keep working. So that's kind of our status of what our weekend was. Let's see, we're trying to go grocery shopping less frequently. So we're trying to like get as much as we can when we go out and get as much stuff delivered as we can. So let's see, we didn't do any grocery shopping over the weekend. We kind of worked with what we had. I've got a grocery pickup at Walmart this afternoon. So fingers crossed that everything's in stock that I ordered. That would be a miracle, but and then we've got a delivery of like local organic stuff delivery coming on Tuesday. So I'm hoping that between the Walmart trip today and the grocery delivery tomorrow it's a farmhouse delivery. It's an organic local place out of Austin. So we're hoping between those that we'll be set for a while, because we really, really are trying to minimize the amount of stuff we do outside the house, except for, like I said, the Greenway trails walks, going for walks in our neighborhood. Just trying to be really careful. We had a Zoom call over the weekend with my in-laws who live in Seattle, and the word is that things in Seattle are starting to settle down. The grocery stores are more stocked. You know, there are fewer people are getting sick. So Seattle, it got worse there before it got worse here, but things are starting to get better there, and that gives me hope. And it was sweet. My sister-in-law shared a recipe that was in the New York Times for, you take a mug and you put some ingredients in it, you microwave it, and you get your own like mini chocolate cake. So I thought that was really. Oh, Michelle Head says good morning. Hello, Michelle. And by the way, so go follow Michelle Head's page. She does. She's doing online yoga classes. So that's a constructive new habit you can pick up while you're stuck at home anyway, right? No excuses. So that's kind of an update on what's on our life. So what I wanted to talk about today is we have a new post up, and I'm super excited. This is our first post by Lora Idol, who is she's been working as my assistant for over a year, about a year and a quarter, but she is just a really remarkable person, just like really grounded. Oh, Becca says hi. Yes, Becca is part of our team too. She is our outstanding group moderator who keeps things engaged and lively in the group. So Okay, so Lora wrote a guest post about self-care while we're staying home. And it just has so much wisdom in it. And I wanted to kind of reinforce the good ideas in her post. And, I mean, I'm learning so much from it. So but please do go to I'll drop the link in the comments. It'll be shared out on all our feeds today, but please read it, share it. Lora is a force for good in the universe, and the more we share these ideas with each other, the stronger we'll be as we get through this. Because as moms, a lot of people are depending on us, but we have to take care of ourselves too. And the stronger we are, the more we can do for the people around us. So it's not selfish; it's just being strong for all the people who are counting on you. So one thing, she did some research about like mental health and how impact it has on us, that actually being in quarantine for weeks, it can almost create like a PTSD feeling. There's a sense of trauma, and that's on top of just the worry about, like, if you actually do have relatives who are sick, or people who are having issues traveling, or so I mean it's real, and it can make us prone to depression or anxiety if that's something. So like my brain is wired up that I'm prone for depression. It runs in my family. I've experienced it before. I've been treated for depression. It's something I always have to be vigilant about. I kind of check in with myself and see how I'm feeling. And sometimes I have to tell myself that those thoughts in my head are not real, that it's an illusion, and that I need to do a reality check and look at what the world is really like. That my brain is wired up to be fearful and look for the negative things. And that may have been a good survival strategy in the Ice Age, but it is not a good survival strategy for these days. So there are times when I have to rewrite my self-talk. So that's for myself, that's how I experience. I have to be very conscious of that, because even though I'm an introvert, I do draw energy from people. And when people tell me stories about how like the work of SE Charter Moms has helped them, that gives me energy. And I'm not encountering people. I'm not, like I miss having school discovery days, and I miss going on school tours and things like that. And I'm not able to do those things. But Lora has some really constructive ideas on like things you can like start today, and that will help you feel better, that will refill your cup. So the first thing she says is writing, and she wrote this post. So, but she's also recommends starting a journal, and that's our featured image for the post, is an image of a hand writing in a journal. It's a way, it can put you in touch with your feelings. So Laura's suggesting if you feel writer's block, she said go on Pinterest and find some writing prompts. And actually, if you have ideas about writing prompts or some helpful links, drop those in the comments, okay? Okay, her next idea is coloring with your kids, because, coloring is relaxing, and if your kids are home with you, if it's something you can all do together. So one of the great things that Lora has done for some of our events is she'll go out and find printable coloring pages, and then print those out and bring those to events. So if your kids have enjoyed the coloring pages at our school discovery days, that was because of Laura's good research. Okay, so another tip, she says take a nap, but step one is find a good movie. Put the movie on, pop the popcorn, kind of build it up for your kids, right? Hey, you guys get to watch a movie, and then mom or dad, go to your room, close the door, and take a nap, because you need to take care of yourself. Okay, another tip, exercise. So now if you have two adults in the house working from home, what you can kind of tag team it, right? So like while one person is home, the other person can go for a run, or just even if you can't go to the gym, you can do some of your, your like, squats, push-ups, bring some elastic bands, exercises that you can do outside. Now, for us, so I'm lucky, my husband is working from home, but we've chosen mostly to do the other option, which is I go out with my kids, and that's why we're going on these like trail walks. So if you look at my personal timeline, which is Inga Cotton, I'm trying to take sort of nature pictures of things, spring wildflowers and things we see on our trail walks. So, whether it's your partner stays home with the kids while you go running, or if you can go walking or running with your kids. Just exercise is really helpful. I know, shout out again to Michelle Head, who's watching this video, because she's doing yoga from her page, and so that's another thing. And there's kids yoga too. So Amy did, in her post a week or two ago about exercise at home, she recommended a kids yoga YouTube channel. So check that out. Okay, so another suggestion from Lora is going for a drive. And I've seen some beautiful pictures on Twitter of people going out in the country and finding like fields of wildflowers, and there's no people around, and you can just soak that up. It's actually good for your car to, if your car's been sitting in the garage for a while, go take it for a drive and heat that engine up. Because and also gas is really cheap right now too, if you hadn't noticed. But yeah, going for a drive. Actually, shout out to my friend Chip, who sometimes takes phone calls in the car, because he doesn't want the toddlers in the background. Although Chip, really, I don't mind. I don't mind if your baby is in the background of your call. It's fine. But okay, another tip from Lora. It says organize or deep clean part of your house. That actually feels really good. Yeah, like we have, so raise your hand if you've done like a pantry reorg, or dug around in your freezer. Found things that needed that you could get creative with your recipes, or it's we're home anyway, and it's a satisfying feeling. So okay, what else? Okay, water fun. So I know it's a little cool and rainy over the weekend, but it is going to warm up again. This is Texas. So if you have a pool in your backyard, that's great. If you don't have a pool in your backyard, maybe you can turn on the hose, or put on a sprinkler. And it's just amazing how long kids can keep themselves busy if they've got water to play with too. So, okay, so another tip from Lora is virtual book club. So maybe you and your friends pick a book to read together, and then every now and then get together on a Zoom call, and you can talk about the book. You can have a glass of wine, and just have that fellowship. And having the book to talk about kind of gives you a hook for it's the same thing like when my daughter does her Zoom calls, she likes to have a game to play with her friends. So just give it some structure, and reading helps expand our horizons, and it's different than just watching TV. So okay, so what else? Oh yeah, so another activity you can talk about if you want to get together for a Zoom call with your friends is meal planning, right? Because we're all doing a lot of cooking and sharing recipe ideas. So you could have a Zoom call, and April Dixon suggests virtual happy hour. There you go, right? I think whatever gets you talking and connecting with people, that helps fill your cup. So yeah, but if you're doing like meal planning or sharing cooking ideas, that's a good one. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's also pick up a hobby. So it's really amazing what you can learn from just watching YouTube videos or from Pinterest. And I'm giving you permission to make mistakes. Okay, so try something new, and it's okay if you make mistakes while you're learning how to do it. But the important thing is to try. So let's see. Okay, so Lora's suggestions are scrapbooking, trying new recipes, and you can get your kids involved in trying new recipes too. Again, it's okay to make mistakes, but just think about what kind of new skills that y'all can learn while you're stuck. Okay, so she says, like, one thing to keep in mind through all this is just having structure. So having some sense of like things that are supposed to happen at certain times of day, and hold on to those, because it'll help keep you sane. If your kids have a certain bedtime, it gives you you have that break to look forward to, right? A suggestion from Michelle. She says YouTube and Pinterest watercolor tutorials. So Michelle's daughter is a young teen, and she's been learning how to paint in watercolors, and there are tutorials on YouTube. That is so cool. It's a skill. It takes patience and it takes practice to get good at it. But what a great idea. So, and Michelle also dropped a link to the Black Swan Yoga. That's one of the channels that she's streaming from. So those are those are Laura's suggestions about self-care while staying at home. And I think there are some great ideas. If you have some things to add, drop a comment or send us a private message. And I'll be back tomorrow at around 9 a.m. Okay? Take care, bye.